I have the mirror for the bottom of my canyon cut to shape. And you see it's not a real big mirror, but it doesn't need to be. It just needs to suggest that this river bottom continues on into the backdrop. I have the dirt down in the canyon bottom, and I have the scenic glue applied to it. I've also applied some ballast to this turnout, and I have applied scenic glue to it as well. Now here I have 3 different materials I'm going to use in the canyon. This is sifted dirt from my yard. This is sifted Sedona dirt. And this is concrete powder. Now this concrete powder I'm going to use as disintegrated granite. The sifted Sedona dirt I'm going to apply underneath the dark red rocks in a few spots, just for a little bit of accent. And the sifted yard dirt, I'm going to try to take the fine powder and put that in the bottom of the river. So I have some old measuring spoons here, and I have a little bit of that Sedona dirt. Now, I don't want to overdo it, but I want to add just a little bit of accent. And I'll take my brush, kind of brush this out a little bit. And after applying scenic glue, I'll have to see how it looks. If it's really diluted, I may want to add a little bit more. All right, so you can see that it adds just a little bit of color to the bottom of these rocks. And it's not an exact color match, but I'm looking for just a little bit of color accent, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. Right, so I've applied some of the Sedona dirt to areas here. Now I'm not sure how it's going to look after I apply the scenic glue. It could wash it out, or it could even make it more concentrated. I don't really know. All right. So it'll be interesting to see how this cement reacts once I get it wet. So I want to spread this out. And I want to get it pretty thin. I want the pebbles and some of that ground color to come through. But I'm not sure how it'll look once I get scenic glue on it. It could darken up, or it may not. Well, I did a blend of my yard dirt, Sedona dirt, and the cement. I'm going to go ahead and lock this down now with scenic glue. It'd be fantastic if I could keep it looking like this, but it's undoubtedly going to change. I have some small stones here. I'm going to take some full-strength white glue, put it in my pie tin, and I'm going to glue the stones into the river bottom. I have the small stones glued into the river bottom. I'm going to let these dry for a couple hours. and then I'll add the sifted yard dirt. Now down here in the Phoenix area, dry river bottoms are common. Having a river with water in it is pretty unusual. Up in the northern part of Arizona, rivers with water in them are a lot more common. And Cottonwood, Arizona has a small river that runs right through the town. So it'd be nice to be able to do something like that if I can do it. All right. Push this dirt down into the glue. All right, so I'll just continue on with the rest of the river bottom. Well, I have the dirt down in the river bottom. And so I'll probably let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll sweep up the extra dirt and see what I have. I have the first layer of dirt down in the river bottom, and I've swept up the excess. So what I'll do now is apply scenic glue to it. Now this isn't done. This is going to take multiple stages to get this river bottom where I want it to be. The Sedona dirt and the cement I added, scenic glue is dried, and so this is what I have. I have to say, I like it. It looks pretty good. And I also added it over on this side, and a little bit up here. And I even added a little bit of the Sedona dirt over here. And you can see you got the streaks right here. And a little bit over here as well. Before I go any further in the canyon, I've decided to put my mirror in place. On the back is some double-sided tape, and I'm just going to tape it in place. Alright, so I'm going to want to get this as close as possible to where I want it, so I'm probably not going to be able to reposition it. Alright, there it is. So you can see how got the reflection in the mirror, and what I'm trying to do is make it look like the stream bed goes into the backdrop. But I wanted a short mirror because I don't want the stream looking like it's running into the rocks back here. So that's why the mirror is short. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to blend the mirror into the backdrop. And it'll take several layers of color. Alright, well I mixed up a palette of colors from these paints, and I tried to blend the backdrop into the mirror. Now it's not an exact match. The colors I painted into the mirror are just a touch too green, but I think it'll do a decent job of camouflaging the mirror. And when I get some greenery around it, hopefully that'll finish off the job and I can hide that mirror pretty well. I used some Loctite power grab, and I want to seal this up because if I do decide to do a resin pour for the river, I have to make sure it doesn't leak. So I use some power grab here to create a seal. Now obviously that's going to have to be painted and covered with dirt. So I'll let that dry for a few hours before I start working on it. I mixed up some red-brown paint and then painted the power grab with the red-brown paint. Now it's not an exact match to the surrounding colors, but it's going to get covered in dirt. Well, I think my canyon bottom is in pretty good shape. Now I have the riverbed finished up. And I have all the dirt applied up by the mirror. And so you can see the mirror reflects the canyon. You can see this stone right here that reflects in the mirror. So it gives the canyon a little additional depth. I'm giving a lot of thought towards pouring water resin inside my river. Now, I did some rough measurements and it looks like this part of the river bottom from here to the backdrop is high compared to the rest of the river bottom. So what I did is I put some rocks in here to try to build up a little bit of a dam, and so I could pour this part of the river bottom and then pour this part of the river bottom separately, where the heights would be slightly different. This would be just a little bit higher than here, and then the water would come over the rocks. And I think I have the mirror integrated into the river bottom probably about as well as I'm going to get it. But you can see, if you look in the mirror, this stone reflects in the mirror, as well as, of course, these stones here. So that gives my little stream a little bit more depth. Well, I think that finishes up the canyon for now. I got the groundwork done in the canyon bottom. I got the rocks painted. I have the track ballast in. Got the track painted. So I thank you for watching, and I hope you come back next time. Thanks again for watching.